Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, where your center is alive and well, and where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. I'm Teresa Valenzuela, your practitioner in service today, and I have a few announcements. Be sure to join our weekly spiritual circle discussion group via Zoom on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Feel free to join in as you can. These weekly discussions cover various articles from the monthly Science of Mind magazine. See our newsletter or call the office for Zoom invite. In September, Reverend Bonnie will teach the class, Building a Healing Consciousness. The day or time has not been set yet, so please let her know if you're interested in taking this class so plans can be solidified. Call the office or email if you're interested. August noon Zoom will be the last Sunday in August where we share our thoughts on this month's topic, Inclusion in Action. I hope you'll join us on August 30th at 12 noon. An email reminder with the meeting link will be sent out on Saturday, the 29th, and you will also be able to find the Zoom information on our website. For more information on any of these activities and other events, please visit our website or call our office. All of our contact information is available below the Spiritual Pathways YouTube screen, which you are viewing right at this moment. We are grateful to those of you who are giving your tithes and offerings to our beloved center. As you know, even though we're not currently meeting in person, our monthly obligations continue, and we are so grateful for your support. You can share your tithes by using our website, by mail, or you can drop them through the mail slot in our back door. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are also a tithing community, and this month 10% of all we receive is being tithed to two special places. Randy Brown for the excellent service he has gifted us with as our Sunday spiritual celebration videographer. Without his dedication and expertise, none of this would be possible. Thank you, Randy. And the second recipient is our sister New Thought community, Unity of Las Cruces, who we share our physical space with here at the center. Thank you, Unity. As your practitioner in service, I want to remind you that the practitioners are available to pray with you over the phone. If you do not have their phone number, call our office and we will have a practitioner call you back. We also have a prayer request button on our website, so you can still send us your prayer requests. The confidential request goes directly to a practitioner, and the prayer team is still praying with you from our homes as we Zoom together at our usual time on Tuesday afternoons. Now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
In this moment, I am love. Love is this moment. Love, love, love. This moment is what I in this moment, I am one. One is this moment. One, one, one. This moment is what I in this moment, I am still, still is this moment, still, 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 this moment is what I am.
So taking ourselves to that space and place of gratitude, and knowing that this beautiful time together, as we open our hearts and our ears to Reverend Terry Lund's words of wisdom, that we are ready to receive those blessings. Knowing that there is only one creative mind, one spirit, one God, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniactive, always creating. And we are one. We are one with Spirit. And as we allow that to flow through us right here, right now, and take us to that place of absolute thanksgiving and gratitude for all that participate in making today's talk available and possible. We are so grateful, and so it is. Today's reading is from Ernest Holmes Speaks. Change is necessary. We are living in a world of continual change, a world in which thought, thing, and experience are all in a constant state of flux. It is the very nature of the universe that there should be continual change and variation. It is a living world, the creation of a living creative intelligence, not a static world created by a God now dead or departed who has left it to decay. No, it is vital and alive. The mind that created it is not apart from it, but is always active in and through it. But behind that which changes, behind that which causes the change, we have found that there is something stable and changeless, something eternal upon which all external events depend for their very existence. Behind the endless process of change and the infinite variety of experience and expression, there is that which never changes. We should never be afraid of change, never fearful of what will come. Instead, we should bring to bear on each new event the influence of the creative nature of our thought, an influence that is founded on an inward calm, a sense of certainty and peace, which will reflect itself in the changing scene of our everyday lives. In our daily living, we encounter infinite variety in all things, but beyond the expression, there is a pattern or form which is the foundation. There is a unity, but not a uniformity, that exists between all similar expressions, a unity that resides in the ultimate creative nature of the universe, a unity that allows freedom of individual expression. An obvious lesson can be learned if we look at ourselves, our families, our friends. We discover that we are all human beings, all pretty much the same, but behind every person there is that basic pattern, a pattern that is individually expressed. If there were not the possibility of variation of expression, life could never have developed its infinite variety. And if there had not been a basic pattern behind the development of humankind, there never would have been any way for it to develop. And so it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So many windows without any doors. I have so much, but still I want more. So many mirrors I need more strength than I've got, but I'm just an expert on what I am not. So many choices, still I can't choose. How can I win when I'm too afraid to lose? There's a voice inside, and it's telling me, fulfill your promises. You can live your magic. You can live the magic. Rise above your circumstance. You can live the magic. You can live your magic. It's always one step forward and two steps back. When you're running from who you're meant to become. Fulfill your promises. You can live your magic. You can live your magic. Rise above your circumstance. You can live the magic. You can live your magic. Fulfill your promises. You can live your magic. You can live your magic.
Today, I have the honor of introducing our speaker. We are blessed to have Reverend Terry Lund share her love and wisdom with us. She was born into and grew up in a New Thought community. She was the spiritual leader of Unity of El Paso before she was ordained by Unity in 1989. Her first church was in Billings, Montana. She was on the faculty of the Unity Seminary for 9 years. In 2004, she became the Unity minister in Las Cruces and served for 15 years. And I'd like to add that as I stepped into the New Thought community in Las Cruces, it was Reverend Terry's community outreach that provided a door to some of the community work that I have done over the years. Thank you so much, Reverend Terry. She's now retired, and we're so happy to have her as this week's Sunday speaker. Please welcome, from your virtual sanctuary, Reverend Terry Lund.
Good morning. So good to be back with all of you this morning. And I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful Sunday. You know, I love the theme for this month, inclusion in action. It gives me a nice warm feeling when I say those words, inclusion in action. Think about that. We can't have inclusion without action. It just, the definition of inclusion requires action. So, what does it mean to you? Or to you? Does it mean I allow my daughter's friend to come and have dinner with us? Or I allow my son's best friend to go on a family outing? Do I have a conversation at lunch with someone that I don't know very well, the new employee? You see, we can't be inclusive without action. And we in the New Thought community say, we are inclusive. We put it on our website. We put it in our advertising. We are inclusive. But are we really? When we think about it, when we're all together in this beautiful room, And that woman, that homeless-looking woman, comes for lunch but doesn't come for service. Do we know what her story is? Do we know what her name is? Or do we just ignore and let her have her lunch? What about that boy that sits in the back row back there? Comes in late, leaves early. Do we know his name? Do we know his story? How about my best friend's husband or wife or partner? Do I know the story? Do I include him or her in my activities with my friend or even in my conversation? Am I inclusive? Many of us have been working with the book White Fragility, and you know, that's really opened my eyes to how I have been unconsciously racist. Definitely not inclusive in some areas. But, you know, I'm the least racist person you ever knew, actually. But then I look at that book and I see areas where I have been racist. It's been a really good eye-opener for me. We also studied nonviolent communication. Some of us read the book, looked at the videos by Marshall Rosenberg. And nonviolence is inclusiveness. Exclusion is violence. You know, I can be thinking that I know best what's for someone else. And I go and help him or her without being asked. That's violence. My grandmother told me one time, Terry, if you're asked to help someone, it's your moral responsibility to do so. But if you help without asking, that's not a good thing. Mind your own spiritual business. There are subtle ways that we exclude other people, and subtle ways that we prejudge other people. An example is Royce Sherrick. Many of you knew Royce when he was here with us. He was an example of prejudging. He was a biker, and he looked like a biker. He looked like the stereotype in the movies of a biker. Bandana around his head, sleeveless jacket, and he looked very fierce until you got close to him and looked into his eyes. There was one time I was sitting here in this room with a friend of mine, and he came in the back door, and I pointed him out to her, and I said, "That's my daughter's fiancé." And later she told me when I said that to her, she went, "Oh my." And then he looked into her eyes and she went, "Oh my." He was such a gentle soul, but we had to get close to him and look into his eyes and not judge by what he was wearing or what he looked like. His gentle eyes saw your soul. His gentle eyes included everyone. Everyone. He was filled with compassion for anyone and everyone. You know, as I was growing up, there were very, very few people who made an impression on me, but those that did were those that saw me, saw my personhood, saw my divinity, saw who I really was. And when I was living in El Paso and attending a different church, there was a visiting minister that came. He was a minister who ministered in Las Vegas on the street. He ministered to the street people. He didn't have a church. But he was one who looked into your eyes and saw your soul. He did that for me. When I was introduced to him, I saw him, and I saw that he saw me as a person. He saw my divinity, and I'm sure he was extremely successful in Las Vegas on the streets. We are all individualized expressions of the divine, every one of us. And by that definition, we cannot be excluded. But sometimes we let that human stuff get in our way. And we forget that we are God's perfect expression, and you are, and you are, and you are. We all are God's perfect expression, and we cannot be excluded. But sometimes we let that human stuff get in the way. Rachel Naomi Remen wrote this. She writes, "Our listening creates a sanctuary for the homeless parts within another person." Our listening creates a sanctuary. That's what that minister did for me. He created a sanctuary for me. Sanctuary for the homeless parts within me that I didn't even know were there. One way we exclude other people is even being violent, we think we know what's best for another person. There's a story about a monkey and a fish in Africa. And the monkey took the fish out of the water, took him into the forest, and he was holding him close. And the fish was saying, "Please, put me back in the water, put me back in the water." And the monkey said, "But I saved you from drowning." You see, when we help another person without knowing what they need, when we assume that we know, we may be doing much more damage. When we are unwilling to look deeply and courageously into our own lives, we can easily violate others in many subtle ways that we may not even be aware of, thinking that we are actually helping them. Thinking that we're actually helping, and we end up being violent and hurting them. Ellie Hillison, who was a young Holocaust victim, wrote, "Ultimately, we have just one moral duty: to reclaim large areas of peace in ourselves, more and more peace, and to reflect it to others." Think about that. Claim more and more peace within ourselves and reflect it to others. And the more peace that there is in us, the more peace will be in our troubled world. This, friends, is inclusion. The more peace that is within me, the more peace is in the world. The more inclusive we become. Because when I am at peace, I love, and I include all people. If we are all at peace, we are all included. The song says, "Peace begins with me." Everything begins with me. When we are seeing in our outer world, we are seeing what we believe to be true about ourselves. Now, this is very important. We teach this, and we all say, "Oh, yeah, you're sure, that's right." But it's important that we really, really get it. That what I see out there is a reflection of what I believe in here. Isn't it time, friends, that we changed our belief system? Changed my belief system from he's wrong, he's bad, he's uncomfortable, to he's my brother, he's my sister, she's my sister. Change our belief system to include all people. Live in peace. Be peace. Can you see yourself as sacred? Can you honor all people as sacred? Can you honor all life as sacred? Even those little critters that we wish weren't there. Honor all life as sacred. And when we do that, we include everyone. We are inclusion in action, and so it is. Now will you join me as we have a prayer together? Infinite Spirit, Holy Father, Mother God, we are so blessed to be here today. We are so blessed to awaken to who we are, awaken to the holiness of our own lives and the holiness of all other life on this planet. We are grateful and we say thank you, and so it is. Amen.
Hello, my friend, it's been a while. All our old clothes are back in style. We went our separate ways, only to return to face a lesson we failed to learn. We didn't understand the truth. We were blinded by the eyes of youth. The time kept on moving, and a change has come. You think that I don't know where you're coming from. Well, I feel just like you, and I cry just like you. But I heal just like you. And under my skin, I'm just like you. Gave your love and your innocence. They took away your confidence. I'm not those women, I'm not those men. Put your arms around me. I am your friend. 'Cause I feel just like you, and I cry just like you. But I heal just like you. And under my skin, I'm just like you and everybody else. When I get hurt, I cry for help. I've got secrets that God only knows, and God knows I feel just like you, and I cry just like you. And just like you.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Sunday service. I also need to share with you that Reverend Bonnie's son, Benjamin Michael Smith, made his transition on August 7th. We send light and love, prayers and blessings out to Reverend Bonnie, Katie, Ben's fiance, and their two beautiful sons. We send light and love out to Ben's extended family and the multitudes of friends that are missing his presence at this time. Reverend Bonnie will be taking some time off, but know that the CSL support team will be on call to provide you with any help or support you may need. Until next week, stay well and stay safe. Namaste.